Hello everyone, let us discuss the paper held on 26th February. It is the second shift paper. The question number 1 we can start with. There is a set A given by the element from 1 to 10, 1, 2, 3 up to 10. Function is defined from A to A and another function G is also defined from A to A. Now if I write function fx is given as x plus 1 if k is odd, and function is x if, let us say this is x is even. So this is the given definition. Now we have to find the number of possible function of gx which is possible, so that g of fx is equal to fx. So let us go according to the odd and even. So when x is even, you can see in the function fx, g of x is becoming x, and when x is odd, g of x plus 1 is equal to x plus 1. So one thing we can clearly notice, that output of gx is always even, because when x is even, so this is x, so obviously output is even, and when x is odd, g x plus 1 output is x plus 1, so this is also even. So if you are making the function g from a to a have the set 1 to 10 elements, the total 10 elements, while output is always even. So out of 10 elements we have to connect only 5 elements. So answer is clear short 10 to the power 5. That is option number 2. If we move to the question number 2, a clear cut geometrical question for maximum and minimum. The triangle of maximum area is required. That means they are needing the dimension of the triangle which is having the maximum area inscribed in a given circle of radius r. Here are the options: right angle triangle, equilateral triangle, and isosceles triangle. So in such a case, we take a circle of radius r, and inside it we have to start from an isosceles triangle for symmetricity of the geometry. Now let us say this is the center A, one of the side of the triangle is BC. So if I join vertex to the center, it will come and perpendicular to the base also. AB and AC will be a radius of the circle, as well as this is also radius. Let us say BAC is 2 theta, that means this is theta. So when this is theta, then the upper vertex angle is also theta. Now this length is r sin theta, and this very length is r cos theta. So area of the triangle we can easily say half of base into height. So half of base is nothing but r sin theta, and h is total. If I say suppose this is p, so total is from p to a and this length. So r plus r cos theta. So r common 1 plus cos theta. So a is equal to r square sin theta into 1 plus cos theta. Now if I differentiate with respect to theta, it will give us cos theta into 1 plus cos theta minus sin square theta, and that has to be equal to 0 whether the maximum or minima is occurring. So if I expand, the first term is cos theta plus cos square theta minus sin square. I am writing sin square again as 1 minus cos square theta. So this quadratic is there. So 2 cos square theta plus cos theta minus 1 equal to 0. So two factors are there, 2 cos theta minus 1 and cos theta plus 1. So as triangle is constructed, so this option obviously not possible, whichever is cos theta equal to minus 1 is not possible. Hence the only option possible is cos theta equal to half and theta thus equal to 60 degree. So in the figure we can see the triangle one vertex is theta and these two sides PC and PB are also equal as we started from the isosceles triangle. So it is nothing but triangle is equilateral with side, one of the side we know is CB, which is 2r sin theta. So 2r into root 3 by 2. So this is root 3r. That means the required triangle is equilateral triangle with a side length root 3r. Let us move to question number 3. Question number 3. Required a 7-digit number which is formed by 33, 444 and 55. So the digits are repeated. Now we have to find the probability that the number is so formed must be divisible by 2. So number divisible by 2. So if I make 7 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here we have to fix 2. So options are only 1 for this box, not 2, instead 4, because 2 is not in the given digit. Now out of these 6 digit we have to fill 33, 4, 4 and 5, 5. So this will be done by 6 factorial by 2 factorial, 2 factorial and 2 factorial for repetition of 3, 4 and 5 twice. Now total number means total 7-digit number using all the digits will be 7 factorial divided by 2 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, 2 repetition of 3, 2 repetition of 5 and 3 time repetition of 4. Hence the required probability is the favorable case, that is 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial divided by 7 factorial by 2 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial. This is 2 factorial itself. So if we simplify, 2 factorial, 2 factorial cancel, 6 factorial cancels the 6 factorial, so 7 left. So total answer comes out to be 3 by 7. The second option. Quickly move on to question number 4. Question number 4, again a simple application of a determinant system of equation. They have given one system of equation for 3 equations. Now they need infinite number of solution for what value of ABC or what relation of ABC, no solution and a unique solution. So for unique solution D certainly should not be 0. So first let us check D, that is the discriminant of the coefficient, that is 1, 2, minus 3, 2, 6, minus 11, 1, minus 2, 7. When I expand it, suppose row wise, 1 multiplied with 42 minus 22 and minus 2 times 14 or plus 11, 25, minus 3 times minus 4 minus 6. So when you expand it, this is plus 20 minus 50 and plus 30. So D is becoming 0. When D is becoming 0, so there is no chance of equation to have a unique solution. So last two options are directly cancelled out. Now let us check one of the dx, dy, dz. If there is one of them is equal to 0, then it definitely will have infinite many solution. Suppose we check dx, that is x row replaced with the constant term row. So this is a, b, c, 2, minus 3, 6, minus 11, minus 2, 7. So when I expand it through column 1, a times 42 minus 22 minus b times 14 and minus 6, 14 and minus 6, and plus c times minus 22 minus minus plus 18, and this turns out to be 20a minus 8b and minus 4c. So for infinite solution, obviously infinite is possible because d is already 0. If one of them dx dy dz is 0, then infinite solution is there. For infinite solution, this has to be equal to 0. So 4 is common, so we will have 5a is equal to 2b plus c, directly indicating the first option. Question number 5 from geometry, locus problem. If the locus of the midpoint of the line segment joining this given point to a point on the circle, then it is a circle again. The locus itself is a circle of radius r. We have to find that r. So circle, they have given x square plus y square is equal to 1. So suppose P is this point 3, 2, and on circle there can be many points, many variable point on the circle which can be joined through this point P. Let us say one of this point is Q and M be the midpoint. So M is suppose H comma K be the midpoint. So Q be a point on the circle. So Q is cos theta comma sin theta, which is definitely satisfying the equation of circle. And as M is the midpoint of PQ, 2H is equal to cos theta plus 3 and 2K is equal to sin theta plus 2. If I eliminate theta, we will have 2H minus 3 square plus 2K minus 2 square is equal to 1. That will give us H minus 3 by 2 square plus K minus 1 square is equal to 1 by 2 square. So clearly say it is a circle with the radius half. Hence our option is first option. Question number 7 related to the area. Read the question carefully. Let A1 be the area of region bounded by y is equal to sin x and y equal to cos x. So two curves are used here, cos x and sin x, and in the first quadrant. So obviously up to pi by 2 only we have to draw. So let us draw sin x. This blue one is sin x, and let us say this red one is cos x. They are saying that A1 is the area of region bounded by these two curves with the y-axis. That means this is A1 and this is obviously A2, the horizontal bar 1, and with the vertical bar I have shaded the area which is A1. Now one thing is sure, that A1 plus A2 is area bounded by cos x and xs in first quadrant. Got it? So this is nothing but 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx, which is simply sin x from 0 to pi by 2, which is only 1. So A1 plus A2 is directly coming as 1. So the option 2 and option 3 are directly striked out because A1 plus A2 is equal to 1 in first and last option. Now amongst A1 or A2 you can get any one of them again. So for me getting A1 is little easier. A1 is this area. Again I am shading it with blue. So this area is up to 0 to pi by 4 because the point of intersection of sin and cos is obviously pi by 4, and upper curve is cos x and lower curve is sin x dx. This turns out to be root 2 minus 1. So when a1 is this, a2 you can say total is 1 minus this root 2 minus 1. So this is 2 minus root 2, or you can say root 2 common, root 2 minus 1, and this is nothing but the a1 we have calculated. So a2 is equal to root 2 times a1. So a2 is equal to root 2 times a1. Option 1 is clearly satisfying it. Question number 8. Question with the use of Newton-Leibniz rule. Let us write fx, which is equal to 0 to x e to the power t ft dt plus e to the power x. So if we differentiate with respect to x, this become f dash x is equal to e to the power x fx plus e to the power x. This can be written as df upon dx is equal to e to the power x common f plus 1. So df by f plus 1 is equal to e to the power x dx. So this turns out to be ln f plus 1 is equal to e to the power x plus c. So f plus 1 is e to the power x plus c, और इसको ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं e to the power x into e to the power c. Now to get the value of c or e to the power c, we can use the original function. Look at the original function here. If I put x equal to 0, so this becoming 0. So for any integration, lower limit, upper limit are same, that going to be 0. So x equal to 0, if I put into the e to the power x, it will give us 1. So f of 0 is 1, we can put. So when I put x equal to 0 everywhere, function become 1. So this become 2 e to the power, at x equal to 0, e to the power 0 become 1. So this is 1 into e to the power c. So directly e to the power c value we have 2 by, hence this value of e to the power c, if I put into the function become e to the power x, and because 1 upon e is there, minus 1 into 2, and f plus 1 was there, so that's minus 1 is also there. So this is the structure of the function. Question number 9. Function is basically sine inverse x. So we well know for fx is equal to sine inverse x, x should lying between minus 1 to 1. Now we have to find the domain of f of gx. So for f of gx we should say lying between minus 1 to 1. Now they have given gx, so this is x square minus x minus 2 by 2x square minus x minus 1 lying between minus 1 to 1. So they have given one more thing, that this g of x at x tends to 2 is 2, g2, that means function is purely continuous at x equal to 2. So we can cancel that factor x minus 2, x minus 2 also. So this become x plus 1 and this become 2x plus 3 lying between minus 1 to 1. So this can be split into two inequalities. This is one equality, another is this inequality, and finally we have to take the intersection. Use of wavy curve will give us the answer number 2. Question number 19 is a very straightforward question based on continuity. Function is defined in this 3 segments, and it is given that function is continuous on R. That means function is continuous at all x. Now one thing is quite clear, that function we need to check for continuity at these values where the function is changing, that is minus 1 and 1. So at x equal to minus 1 we have to check first. So f of minus 1 minus left of minus 1 is 2 sine minus pi by 2 into minus 1, which is 2. And f of minus 1 and f of minus 1 plus f of minus 1 and f of right of minus 1 is given from the second portion. So when we put, we have a plus b minus 1, this much. So for continuity, we can say that modulus of a plus b minus 1 is equal to 2. That means a plus b minus 1 can be plus minus 2. So a plus b minus 1 can be 3 or minus 1. Similarly, function need to be continuous at x equal to 1 also. So again check for at x equal to 1. So at x equal to 1, again we need to check f of 1 minus and f of 1. The value of function is from the second portion is modulus of a plus b plus 1, and f of 1 plus is coming from the third portion sin pi x. So when we put 1, it is sin pi has to be 0. So from here a plus b plus 1 modulus equal to 0. That means a plus b plus 1 has to be equal to 0. So from here a plus b is equal to minus 1, which is the common solution, common possibility for function to be continuous in the first case and the second case. Hence a plus b has to be equal to minus 1. Question number 11. Again a question where answer itself giving us the hint. We have to first calculate fx and then f of 1 upon x. So fx they have given 1 to x log of t upon 1 plus t dt. Let us say this is equation number 1. Replace x with 1 upon x. So f of 1 upon x becomes 1 to 1 by x log t by 1 plus t dt. We change only the x component, not the integrand. Now inside the integration, replace t as 1 upon t. T replace with 1 upon t. So f of 1 upon x becomes 1 to t. Log 1 upon t is minus log t. This become 1 plus t by t, and dt become dt by t square with minus 1. So this minus and this minus cancel. T 1 times t cancel. So this overall comes out to be 1 x of f of 1 upon x is equal to 1 to t log t by t into 1 plus t dt. Now if I add, suppose this is equation number 2, if I add 1 and 2, we'll have f of x plus f of 1 upon x, which is from 1 to, so this is basically not t, this is x. So this is 1 to x log t by 1 plus t is common in this, and in this we'll have inside 1 upon t plus 1. So you can see the 1 plus t and 1 plus t also cancel out. Final comes out 1 to x log t by t dt. So this is again by substitution. If I put log t as u, 1 upon t dt is du. So this is half of log t square for 1 to x. So overall answer is half of log of x square. So this is f of x plus f of 1 by x. Finally we can replace x as e. So this is f of e plus f of 1 by e is equal to half, because log e is 1. So that's the final answer. Question number 12. Question from the permutation. Now let us see that there is a number having the prime factorization given by the number n is prime factorization is 2 to the power x, 3 to the power y and 5 to the power z. where y and z are given by yz given or satisfied by these two conditions. X y plus z is equal to 5 and 1 upon y plus 1 upon z is equal to 5 by 6. So these two will give you y equal to 2 and z equal to 3 and the y symmetry. Now they ask the number of odd divisors. For number of odd divisors, no power of x required. So only power of 3 and power of 5 will vary. And power of 3, as I say y is 2 and 5 to the power is z, which is 3. So total number of divisors possible will be 2 plus 1 into 3 plus 1, which is equal to 12. So simple application of permutation. Question number 13, again a very straightforward question based on the formula of image which was told in the class. Now the mirror image of this point with respect to this plane is this. So plane is given 4x minus 5y plus 2z minus 8 equal to 0. So image formula for 3D is same as image formula in the line in 2D. So if image is alpha beta gamma of this, then it is alpha minus 1 by a, that means coefficient of x 4, beta minus 3 by minus 5 and gamma minus 5 by coefficient of z, which is 2, is equal to minus 2 times. Put this point on this line. So 4 into x का value 1, 4, minus 5 into y का value 3 means 15 and plus 2z means 10 minus 8 divided by a square plus b square plus c square. So a square plus b square plus c square give you 16 and 4, 20 and 5, 16 plus 25 plus 4. So this is 20 and 25, 45. So numerator becomes plus 14 and minus 1 minus 9. So this comes out to be alpha minus 1 by 4, beta minus 3 by minus 5, gamma minus 5 by 2 is equal to minus 9, it comes out, and minus minus cancel, 9 cancel, 2 by 5 here. So alpha is equal to 1 plus 8 by 5, beta is equal to 3 minus 10 by 5 and gamma is equal to 5 plus 4 by 5. So if I calculate directly 5 alpha, it is 13, 5 beta is this 15 minus 10, 5, and 5 gamma is 25 plus 4, 29, and they need 5 alpha, 5 beta and plus 5 gamma. So we can add 29 and 5, 34 and 13, 47 is the second option. Question number 14 is a good question, but still a straightforward, easy question if you go point to point. Now the first condition they have given, that tan inverse A plus tan inverse B is satisfying, is equal to relation satisfying is equal to pi by 4. So if I apply the formula over here, tan inverse A plus tan inverse B is equal to pi by 4, which is equal to tan inverse A plus B upon 1 minus AB is equal to pi by 4. So this will give us A plus B is equal to 1 minus AB, or AB plus A plus B is equal to 1. If I add both side 1, that will become 1 plus A plus B plus AB is equal to 2. So this is nothing but 1 plus A into 1 plus B is equal to 2. Now let us move to the series. This series is S. So S, if I split in terms of A and B separately, the series with a is a minus a square by 2 plus a cube by 3 and so on, and similarly it is b minus b square by 2 plus b cube by 3 and so on. Now we know one thing, log of 1 plus x expansion is x minus x square by 2 plus x cube by 3 minus x 4 by 4 and so on. So you can easily compare. The series can be written as this is the series of same log 1 plus x when x is replaced with a. So this is log of 1 plus a. Similarly this part is same series when x replaced with b. So this is log of 1 plus b. So overall by log property both will be multiplied, 1 plus a into 1 plus b. So 1 plus a into 1 plus b we have already done, it is 2. So this answer is log of 2 base e. Question number 15, easy question of limit. We have to use LH rule. Now x f of a minus a f of x by x minus a, x tends to a. So obviously when I put x equal to a, numerator become a f a minus a f a 0 and denominator is 0. So this is 0 by 0. So if you differentiate both sides, so numerator if you differentiate x become 1, only f of a minus a into f dash x by 1. Now put x equal to a directly. So this become f of a minus a into f dash a. Now f of a and f dash a value is given. So if we put, we'll have 4 minus 2 a. That is the answer. Question number 15. Next question is question number 16 from 3D, and again some mirror images also used. Let L be the line obtained from the intersection of two planes. So let us say this line which is obtained by the intersection of these two planes is L, and P is the point alpha beta gamma which is the foot of perpendicular from the point 3, 2, 1 on the line L, and the value of this. So this question basically consists of two parts. First we have to get the equation of line. So to get the equation of line, let us say for passing point or intersection point of the planes, we put generally z equal to 0 in the planes. So we'll have x plus 2y equal to 6, and in second plane if I put z equal to 0, directly it comes as y equal to 4. So y equal to 4, if I substitute in first, it will give us x equal to minus 2. So we have passing point of line which is minus 2, 4 and 0. Second thing is we have to calculate the direction cosine of the line. As direction cosine of line, or you can say the line is perpendicular to the normal of both of the planes. So direction ratios of line is given by the cross product of the direction cosine of the normal of the plane. So I j k, direction ratio of the normal of the first plane is 1, 2 and 1, and 1, 2 and 1, sorry, and the direction ratio of the normal to the second plane is x coefficient is 0, y is 1 and z is 2. So this vector is indirectly the direction ratio vector of the line. So I times 4 minus 1 3 minus j times 2 minus 1 0, 2 minus 0, k plus k times 1. So direction ratios of line L are 3, minus 2 and 1. Hence equation of line L, passing point already we know, direction ratio will be x plus 2 by 3 equal to y minus 4 by minus 2 equal to z by 1 is equal to say lambda. Now we have to see the concept again. If this is our line L, they say with respect to point 3 comma 2 comma 1, let us say this is P. Let the foot of perpendicular is somewhere here, let us say this is Q. So let Q be a point on line. In terms of lambda we can get the value of Q. So the Q point is minus 2 plus 3 lambda, 4 minus 2 lambda and lambda. So once we get the coordinate of Q, we know P, we can have direction ratios of PQ, direction ratios of PQ. This minus 3, which is 3 lambda minus 5, 4 minus 2 lambda minus 2, that is 2 minus 2 lambda and lambda minus 1. Now as L and PQ are perpendicular, so the product of the summation of the product of their direction ratios are equal to 0. So this line and this direction ratios product will be 0. So 3 into 3 lambda minus 5 minus 2 into 2 minus 2 lambda plus 1 into lambda minus 1 equal to 0. Now the lambda is 9 and plus 4, 9 plus 4 13 and 1 14 lambda, and constant is minus 15 minus 4 minus 19 and minus 1 minus 20 equal to 0. So lambda is 10 by 7. Lambda is 10 by 7. Once you get the lambda, we can directly get the point Q, which is minus 2 plus 30 by lambda, 30 by 7, 4 minus 20 by 7 and 10 by 7. So this is equal to minus 14 plus 30, 16 by 7, 28 matlab 8 by 7 and 10 by 7. So from here we can easily get, and this is nothing but our alpha, beta, gamma. Now we can get the desired result, which is 21 times alpha plus beta plus gamma. So first of all we can add alpha plus beta plus gamma and then we can multiply it with 21. So answer is coming out 68. Now the question number 17 from vectors. They say these two vectors are collinear, hence a1 vector is lambda times a2 vector, collinear. So then ask a vector parallel, a unit vector parallel to this. So any unit vector parallel to this is xi plus yj plus zk divided by root over x square plus y square plus z square. Now if I compare this result, a1 is equal to lambda a2, you will have x is equal to lambda minus 1 is equal to y lambda and 1 is equal to lambda z. As we require the unit vector, we can take the simplest values of x, y and z. So let us say lambda equal to 1. So x equal to 1, y equal to minus 1 and z equal to 1. Hence vector will be as required xi plus yj plus zk will be I minus j plus k. Hence unit vector will be I minus j plus k by root 3. And this is the answer, second part. Question number 18, differential equation question. Let the slope of tangent. So slope of tangent we know is dy by dx at a particular point. So directly they have given dy by dx, that is slope of the tangent at a point is x y square plus y by x. So if I cross multiply, this will be x dy by dx and minus is equal to x y square plus y Now here y and y square both are there. Now we can convert it into the linear equation, first degree linear equation. Now divide by x into y square. So this turns out to be 1 upon y square dy by dx minus plus 1 upon y, 1 upon minus 1 upon y instead, 1 upon x is equal to 1. So now 1 upon minus 1 upon y you can put as t. So this differential equation becomes dt by dx plus t into 1 by x is equal to 1. So solution is given by t into integrating factor is equal to integration of integrating factor dx plus c, where integrating factor is e to the power integration of 1 upon x dx, which is ln x. E to the power ln x is x. So this is t into integrating factor is x, so t is minus 1 by y, so x by y is equal to integrating factor dx is only x, so x square by 2 plus c. So now to calculate c, they have given the indirect data that this curve intersects this line at x equal to 2. So passing point we can calculate passing point at x equal to minus 2. If I put x equal to minus 2 in the equation, this will give us 2y equal to 6, that is y equal to 3. So passing through this will give us 3. So this is minus minus plus 2 by 3 is equal to 2 plus c. So c is given by 2 by 3 minus 2, that is minus 4 by 3. So minus x by y is equal to x square by 2 minus 4 by 3. Now the question is, if for this curve, if this 3 comma y is satisfied, what is the value of y? So x equal to 3, we have to check what is the value of y. So minus 3 by y is equal to 9 by 2 minus 4 by 3. So this 9 by 2 minus 4 by 3 is 6 denominator, 27 minus 8. So minus 3 by y is 19 by 6. So this will give us y is equal to minus 18 by 19. That's the answer. Question number 19 is a very unique question, rarely asked in such tests. Now they have given a series of infinite terms. Let us say this is s. So s is given as sigma n equal to 1 to infinity n square plus 6n plus 10 by 2n plus 1 factorial. In such a case, we always try to reduce the factorial possible. So factorial in denominator is 2n plus 1. So if we can convert the numerator also in terms of 2n plus 1. So this n square plus 6n is there, so we can convert it into 2n plus 1 whole square. So for 2n plus 1 whole square, 4n square is required. So I multiplied and divide by 4. So 1 by 4 and numerator become 4n square plus 24n plus 40 divided by 2n plus 1 factorial. Understood? So this is 1 by 4 sigma. Now I am going to break it. 4n square plus 4n plus 1. This is one portion plus rest of the portion out of the 24n, 4n I have given. So rest is 20n. So I am eyeing for 2n plus 1. So 2n plus 1, it's required 10 over here. So out of 40, 1 is here, 10 is here. So 11 gone, become 29 whole divided by 2n plus 1 factorial. So this is 1 upon 4 sigma. So this is 2n plus 1 factorial divided by this. So 2n plus 1 divided by 2n factorial plus among these two 10 common, it is 2n plus 1, 2n plus 1 cancel, the denominator also 2n factorial plus 29 by 2n plus 1 factorial. Again we split 2n plus 1 into two separate terms. So one is 2n divided by 2n factorial, to 2n cancel, 1 upon 2n minus 1 factorial. Second part is 1 upon 2n factorial. So this is also 2n factorial. So this become 1 and 10, that is 11 by 2n factorial plus 29 by 2n plus 1 factorial. Now if I write this sigma into the expansion form to get the idea of the series, now the first term is, as we know, n is from 1 to infinity. So this is 1 upon 1 factorial plus 1 upon 3 factorial, 1 upon 5 factorial, and so on. Second term, which is 11 outside, and multiplied 1 upon 2n factorial. So 1 upon 2 factorial, 1 upon 4 factorial, and so on. Third is 29 times 1 upon 3 factorial, 1 upon 5 factorial, and so on. Now we know that if we expand e and e to the power minus 1, e plus e to the power minus 1 by 2 is 1 plus 1 upon 2 factorial, or we can see e is equal to 1 plus 1 upon 1 factorial plus 1 upon 2 factorial plus 1 upon 3 factorial, and so on. While e to the power minus 1, put x equal to minus 1, is 1 minus 1 upon 1 factorial plus 1 upon 2 factorial minus 1 upon 3 factorial, and so on. So these two will give us e plus e to the power minus 1 by 2. So when you add e and e and e to the power minus 1, this odd factorial cancel. So this become 1 plus 1 upon 2 factorial plus 1 upon 4 factorial, and so on. Similarly, if we use e minus e to the power minus 1 by 2, that means subtraction of these two, will have now odd factorial terms cancelled. So this become 1 upon 1 factorial plus 1 upon 3 factorial plus 1 upon 5 factorial, and so on. So now write this s in terms of these two only. So s is 1 by 4 outside. The first is all the odd terms. So directly e minus e to the power minus 1 by 2 plus second is 11 times this starting from 2 factorial. So this is only this. So this minus 1 goes this side. So e plus e to the power minus 1 by 2 minus 1. And the last one is 29 into, again this odd is starting from 3. So odd is starting from 3 means this last one with that extra term. So this is e minus e to the power minus 1 by 2 minus 1. So if I recollect the coefficient of e and e to the power minus 1, and this 4 is also there, 2 is also there, so 1 by 8 e common, coefficient of e is 1 plus 11 and plus 29, while coefficient of e की power minus 1 by 8 is minus 1 plus 11 minus 29, and pure constant term is 1 upon 4 times outside minus 11 minus 29. That turns out to be the first option, 41 by 8, 19 by 8 and minus 10. Question number 20. A and B are the 2 points. Let P be a point on the circle, and we have to given that such that PA square plus PB square has maximum value. Then point P, A and B lies on which of the combination: hyperbola, ellipse, straight line or parabola. So for that, let us take the circle and point on it. So circle center is 1 comma 1, radius is 1. So let us take radius is making theta with x axis sometime. So this general point is 1 plus 1 cos theta and 1 plus 1 sin theta. So this is P point for us. A and B are given. So now PA square is, A is given this, so PA square is cos square theta plus 1 plus sine minus 4, so sine theta minus 3 whole square. So this turns out to be 9, and plus sine square cos square become 1, become 10, minus 6 sine theta. Similarly PB square is 1 this term and difference with this distance from B. So this is cos square theta plus 1 plus sine minus of minus plus 5. So sine theta plus 6 whole square. So this is 36 and 137 and plus 12 sine theta. So PA square plus PB square is 47 plus 6 sine theta. 47 plus 6 sine theta. And they are said for maximum value theta has to be equal to 90 degree. So you can say sine theta has to be 1 and correspondingly cos theta equal to 0. So point P on this variable node, for this maximum condition, sine theta and cos theta value P comes out to be 1, 2. So now we can easily observe that x coordinate of each A, B and P are same as 1. So A, P, B lie on line x equal to 1. So they are only lying on a straight line which is asked. Move to our numerical value type answers. The question number 1, A is an integer such that the real root of this polynomial lie in this interval A to A plus 1. That means the line between two consecutive integers. So let us say this is fx. So for any higher degree equation, let us check what is the nature of the function first. Then we state about the roots. So 2x to the power 5 plus 5x to the power 4 plus 10x cube plus 10x square plus 10x plus 10. So if I differentiate f dash x, it comes out to be 10x to the power 4 plus 20x cube plus 30x square plus 20x plus 10. So it is you can see the coefficients are like in palindrome type. From both sides they are symmetrical. So in such case you can take the middle term common, that is x square common, and obviously 10 is also common. So 10x square is common, so it will be x square plus 20x plus 30 plus 20 by x, basically it is 2 only, or this is 3 only, plus 1 by x square. So it is 10x square. Now x square write with 1 upon x square, so it is x plus 1 upon x whole square minus 2. These two, out of these two common, x plus 1 upon x and constant is 3. So this is 10x square and this is x plus 1 upon x whole square plus 2 times x plus 1 upon x and plus 1. So this is again a perfect square. So this is a pure positive number and function is strictly increasing, hence only one real root. So we have to only hit and try and check in which interval the sign is changing, because if the root is lying between two numbers, then definitely on the two numbers sign will be different. So let us give a try. So f of 0, let us check the value of the function at x equal to 0, that is 10, which is positive. F of 1 is obviously positive because all the coefficients are positive. So no need to go and check for the further positive values of x, because for any positive value of x, all the coefficients are positive, that will always be positive. So let us go for the negative, f of minus 1. So f of minus 1, it is minus 2 plus 5 minus 10 plus 10 minus 10 plus 10. So these two cancel, this become 5 minus 2 3. So this is still positive. Let us check what f equal to minus 2. At x equal to minus 2, it is minus 32 into 2, minus 64 plus 80 minus 80 plus 40 minus 20 plus 10. So minus 80 plus 80 gone. So overall number, if you can check, minus 64 and minus 2 is minus 84, while plus is only 50. So this f of minus 2 is definitely negative. So function is changing the sign from f of minus 1 to f of minus 2. That means root lie between minus 2 to minus 1. So according to the question, it is lying between a to a plus 1. So this is our a. So a is equal to minus 2, hence mod of a is equal to 2. That's the answer. Question number 2, the kind of question which is asked in the IIT after a very long time, the complex number straight line question. Now they say that there are complex numbers satisfying these two relations. The number of complex number which satisfying these two relations, amongst which is having the maximum value of z plus 1 mod square. So let us draw this. So for z1 plus I plus z bar 1 minus I plus 10 greater than equal to 0, should I write? If I put z equal to x plus iy, minus I plus 10 greater than equal to 0. So when we expand it, we'll have x minus y plus 5 greater than or equal to 0. This equation turns out to be this. So this is obviously straight line and one side of the straight line, because inequality is there. So if I put 0 0 is 5 greater than equal to 0. So this is satisfied. So this shows the region of line x minus y plus 5 equal to 0 towards origin. Okay. Now let us draw the figure. This line, if I plot, y equal to 0, x equal to minus 5 and x equal to 0, y equal to 5. So this is somehow this line, minus 5 is this, and second relation is this, x plus 5 modulus less than equal to 1. This is obviously circle with the center minus 1 and radius is 4. So somehow this is the circle inside which the complex numbers are lying and satisfy this relation. Now for the complex number related to circle also inside the circle, now we need what? Amongst these complex numbers, so our area is this basically, where the complex number satisfying these two relation. So we have to find this value z plus 1 modulus square. So z plus 1 means the distance of z plus 1 is what? The distance of z from minus 1. So minus 1 is this point obviously. So the all z which is lying inside the circle and below towards the origin, that means the common area is this. So among these, this is the maximum distance of all the z possible. So this is z, this is minus. So this length we have to calculate. So let us say this is x. So we know that this is the radius of the circle 4, this is radius of the circle 4, and this angle, because this line is known with the slope 1, so this is theta 45. So this is 45 again, so this angle is 135. Using cos rule, easily we can get x. So cos rule gives us 1 by cos 135 instead is equal to 4 square plus 4 square minus x square by 2 into a into b, means 2 into 4 square So this is minus 1 by root 2 cos 130. So this is 32 minus x square by 32 is equal to minus 1 by root 2. So this will gives us 1 minus x square by 32 is equal to minus 1 by root 2. So x square by 32 is 1 plus 1 by root 2. So this will gives us x square is equal to 32 plus 16 root 2. This is given x square, and x is nothing but same thing z plus 1 modulus. So this is nothing but z plus 1 ka modulus ka square. So this they have given in terms of alpha plus root 2 times beta. So we can clearly compare alpha is 32 and beta is 16. So alpha plus beta is nothing but 48. I hope this will clear the concept. Question number 4 of integral part. I is given and another integration is given which is alpha times of the given I. So we have to compare the number. So let us say I, start with I, 0 to 1, x to the power m minus 1, 1 minus x to the power n minus 1 dx. Because limit is 0 to 1, we can use x as 1 minus x also by the property. So 0 to 1, this become x to the power n minus 1 into 1 minus x to the power m minus 1 dx. Both are symmetrical basically. So let us take any one of them. So let us taking the first one, 0 to 1, x to the power m minus 1, 1 minus x to the power n minus 1. Now here in this replace x with 1 upon y plus 1. So dx is minus 1 upon y plus 1 whole square dy. Limit also changes obviously. When x equal to 0, y is only infinity. When x equal to 1, y is 0. So this is infinity to 0. X means 1 upon y plus 1 whole power m minus 1. 1 minus 1 upon y plus 1 power n minus 1 minus dy by y plus 1 whole square. So this overall comes like this. So if we simplify it, it become 0 to infinity. This y की power m minus 1, this y plus 1 की power n minus 1 become m plus n minus 2 and plus 2 become m plus n. So y plus 1 to the power m plus n, and in numerator there is only 1 plus y plus 1 minus 1, that is y. So y to the power n minus 1 dy. And by symmetry, because this I have took the first portion, this if I take this one by symmetry, we can use I is equal to 0 to infinity y to the power m minus 1 dy upon y plus 1 to the power m plus n. So here if I add both, 2i is equal to 0 to infinity y to the power n minus 1 plus y to the power m minus 1 dy by y plus 1 to the power m plus n. Correct. Now because we have to convert in terms of this value which is 0 to 1 only. So this is given 0 to infinity. Let us break it into two intervals. One is 0 to 1, y to the power n minus 1 plus y to the power m minus 1 by y plus 1 to the power m plus n. This is 0 to infinity convert into two interval, 2 to 1 and then 1 to infinity, y to the power n minus 1 plus y to the power m minus 1 upon y plus 1 to the power m plus n dy. In this second portion, if I replace y as 1 upon t, this changes to 1 to 0, y to the power 1 minus n, sorry, t to the power 1 minus n plus t to the power 1 minus m upon 1 plus t to the power m plus n, or upon t it goes up, t to the power m plus n, and dy become dt by t square with a minus. So this, when multiplied with this, t की power m plus 1 become n cancel, m plus 1 and divided by 2 t square also, to minus 2. So this to overall convert into same as this. So 2i is become 2 times 0 to 1 y to the power n minus 1 plus y to the power m minus 1 by y plus 1 to the power m plus n dy. So 2 cancel. So I is same as this. So this is alpha. So alpha hence is equal to 1. Question number 5. The total number of 4-digit numbers whose greatest common divisor. Greatest common divisor is obviously SCF, we already know as. Greatest common divisor with 18 is 3. And 18 we know that as 2 into 3 into 3. So now according to the question it says we have to find 4-digit number whose common factor with this 18 is only 3. So that means that 4-digit number should be divisible by only 3, neither 6 nor 9. So 4-digit number divisible by 3, neither 6 neither 9, we can easily say that 1002 is the first 4-digit number. Next is 1005, which is divisible by 1005. 1005 this is divisible by 3, and this is also divisible by 6 also. Now 1008 divisible by 9. So next is 1011. So this is the term which is divisible by 3, neither by anything. So the terms will be 1002, 1011, and last term will be 9993. So this is divisible by 3, but not 6 and not 9. So here we can say 9993 will be the last term. The first term is 1002 plus n minus 1 into 9. So when you calculate here, n comes out to be 1000. Now the question number 6, based on the matrices, product of matrices, and whenever I have the very large power of matrices, there is a fair chance that the matrices is in a periodic form, that repeated into the particular manner. So let us calculate it. A is 1 0 0 0 2 0 3 0 minus 1. Now if I go and calculate A square, it is 1 0 0 0 4 0 0 0 1. If I calculate A cube, it will give us clear picture. 1 0 0 0 8 0 3 0 minus 1. So you can see the change. The exact middle term is changing the power of 2 as the power of A. This term is keep on becoming 0 and 3 and 0 and 3, and this is becoming plus minus 1 according to the odd and even power. So now if I go for A20, so A20 plus A20 plus alpha A19. So A20 will be what? A20 according to this will be 1 0 0 0 2 to the power 20 0 0 0 1 plus alpha times a to the power 19, sorry, a to the power, yes, 19. A to the power 19 means odd types, that is 1 0 0 0, 2 to the power 19 0, 3 0 minus 1 plus beta times a, that is 1 0 0 0 2 0 3 0 minus 1, and that whole thing is 1 0 0 0 4 0 0 0 1. So to evaluate alpha and beta we need to compare two things. So first is middle term I am comparing, which is 2 to the power 20 plus 2 to the power 19 alpha, 2 to the power 19 alpha plus 2 beta is equal to 4. And if I compare this term, then we have 0 plus 3 alpha plus 3 beta is equal to 0. That means alpha equal to minus beta. So alpha equal to minus beta I am putting over here. So 2 to the power 20 plus 2 to the power 19 alpha minus 2 alpha is equal to 4. So alpha is 4 minus 2 to the power 20 by 2 to the power 19 minus 2. So this easily can get as alpha equal to minus 2. If you can take 2 common in the numerator, this become 2 minus 2 to the power 19, same as in the denominator with the negative sign. So once this is 2, this is minus beta value. So alpha minus beta is 4. Alpha minus beta is 4. Question number 7. Question number 7 says the normal at all the points on the given curve passes through a fixed point. So the normal of any point, if you choose, if you draw the normal, it passing through same point a comma b. So this curve has to be circle. So basically this curve has to be circle and a comma b has to be the center. So curve has to be circle with center a comma b. Now if curve passing through these 2 points and given that this, then find this value. Okay, so let circle be x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square is equal to r square. Circle passing through 3 comma 3, it is passing 3 comma minus 3. So this will be 3 minus a whole square plus 3 minus 3 minus b whole square is equal to r square. This turns out to be a square plus b square minus 6a plus 6b plus 18 minus r square equal to 0. It also passes through 4 comma minus 2 root 2. So this will again same way we can have a square plus b square minus 8a or minus minus plus 4 root 2b plus 8 and 16 24 minus r square equal to 0. Now if we subtract these two, you will have 2a plus 6 minus 4 root 2b and 18 minus 24 minus 6 is equal to 6, you can say. So if I take 2 common away, it will be a plus 3 minus 2 root 2 times b is equal to 3. And they have given already another equation. Already they have given a minus 2 root 2 b is equal to 3. So it can be clearly see that it is b equal to 0 and a equal to 3 is the only possibility. So when b equal to 0 and a equal to 3, we can put in the required expression, which is a square plus b square plus ab. So ab term is cancelled, b square term is cancelled, so a is equal to 3, hence this value comes out to be 9. Question number 8. Question number 8 says if arithmetic mean and geometric mean of pth and qth term of this sequence satisfy this equation, find p plus q. So this series you can see that it is minus 16, 8, minus 4, 2. So this is GP with A is minus 16 and a ratio is minus half. So the pth term is minus 16 into minus half to the power p minus 1, and TQ is minus 16 minus half to the power q minus 1. So pth term and qth term. Now arithmetic mean and geometric mean is satisfied by this. So roots of 4x square minus 9x plus 5 equal to 0. So this is 4x square minus 4x minus 5x plus 5 equal to 0. 4x common, x minus 1 minus 5 common, x minus 1 equal to 0. So two roots are there, x equal to 1 and x equal to 5 by 4. Now let us take geometrical mean of this PQ. So geometrical mean is root of TP into TQ, which is root of minus 16 into minus half to the power p minus 1 into minus 16 into minus half to the power q minus 1. So by the value we can say only this x equal to 1. This is the possible value of this geometrical expression, because there is only in terms of 2 ki power. There is nothing possibility of coming 5. So this term is coming 16 square and minus half to the power p plus q minus 2, which has to be equal to 1 according to the condition. So this is minus half to the power p plus q minus 2, and 16 square is 2 to the power 8 goes this side, 1 upon 2 to the power 8. So which is only possible when p plus q minus 2 has to be equal to 8, hence p plus q is equal to 10. This is the value. Now L be the common tangent of this curve which is ellipse and this curve which is circle, then the equation of the square of the slope of the line L. So let M be slope of common tangent. So equation of tangent for ellipse will be y equal to mx plus minus root over m square a square plus b square. So a square is 9m square plus b square is 4. Equation of tangent for circle. Circle is x square plus y square is 31 by 4. So circle is tangent equation y equal to mx plus minus a, that is root 31 by 2 root of m square plus 1. So for the line to be same, these two constant must be same. So that means root of 9m square plus 4 has to be equal to root 31 by 2 root of m square plus 1. Squaring both sides, it will give us 9m square plus 4 times 4 is equal to 31 times m square plus 1. Okay, so this is 36 m square plus 16 is equal to 31 m square plus 31. So this is 5 m square is equal to 15, that is m square has to be equal to 3. That's what they're asking, square of the slope. Question number 10. Alpha and beta are the two real roots of real numbers such that alpha plus beta is 1 and alpha into beta is minus 1. And Pn is defined as alpha to the power n and beta to the power n. Pn minus 1 is 11 and Pn plus 1 is 29. Then find the value of Pn square. So now using Pn minus 1 and Pn minus 2. So Pn minus 1 means alpha to the power n minus 1 plus beta to the power n minus 1 is 11, and alpha to the power n plus 1 plus beta to the power n plus 1 is 29. If I multiply these two side by side, so equation number 1 into equation number 2, if I say this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2, so this two multiplied get alpha to the power 2n plus beta to the power 2n, this multiplied with this, and similarly this alpha multiplied with this, so alpha to the power n minus 1 into beta to the power n minus 1 common, alpha square plus beta square inside, outside it is 11 into 29, 330 minus 11, 330 minus 11, 11 319, 319 it comes. Okay. But we want alpha Pn ka square, that means alpha to the power 2n, beta to the power 2n plus 2 alpha beta. So let us simplify the second part first. This is alpha beta to the power n minus 1. Now this can be written as alpha plus beta to whole square minus 2 alpha beta is equal to 319, 11 9 99 931. Okay, this is correct. Now these two we can take from here. Now we can have what? Alpha 2n plus beta 2n plus alpha beta to the power n minus 1. So alpha plus beta is 1, so this is 1 minus 2 into minus 1, 319. So this is alpha 2n plus beta 2n, so this is 3, so this is becoming 3 alpha beta ki power n minus 1 is equal to 319, and alpha beta is again minus 1. So we need alpha beta ki power n, so we can have alpha to the power 2n plus beta to the power 2n, 1 alpha beta power take outside, so this become minus 3 alpha beta into alpha beta to the power n. Basically it is divided by alpha beta, but alpha beta is equal to minus 1, so this is same, so 319. So this I can write it as, now remove this, directly I have used this thing. So alpha to the power 2n plus beta to the power 2n. Now I added 2 alpha beta to the power n and subtract 2, so this is 5 times alpha beta to the power n is equal to 319. So this part is alpha to the power 2n plus beta to the power 2n plus 2 alpha beta to the power n is equal to 319 plus 5 times alpha beta to the power n. So this, if this is plus 1, so this is 324, this comes out to be, and because